Next Coming of the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, Part A. Introduction. A careful look at Old Testament prophecies shows an underlying assumption of two advents. Micah, chapter 5, verse 2, and Isaiah, chapter 7, verse 14, predict the first advent. Separately, Isaiah, chapter 53, verses 8 to 9, predicts a suffering and dying Messiah, who will be given life and greatness according to Isaiah, chapter 53, verses 11 to 12. Daniel, chapter 9, verse 26, describes the Messiah being killed after his appearance. At the same time, prophets such as Zechariah in Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10, say this same pierced Messiah will be seen again by his enemies. So the clues are there about the next coming of Messiah. Many Old Testament prophecies foretell the ultimate triumph of Messiah, which will occur at the next advent. These include statements from the books of Zechariah in Zechariah chapter 9 verses 14 to 15, chapter 12 verses 10 to 14, chapter 13 verse 1, chapter 9 verses 14 to 15. Amos in Amos chapter 9 verses 11 to 15. Jeremiah in Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 18, chapter 32 verse 44, chapter 33 verses 11-26. And Joel in Joel chapter 3 verse 1, which describe the Messiah coming in triumph to lead Israel into salvation. Note that these are in the context of passages such as Deuteronomy chapter 30 verses 3 to 5, and so are predictions of the time of Messiah's final victory. The future return of Messiah to the earth is implied in hundreds of Old Testament prophecies of future judgment on the world and a coming kingdom of righteousness on earth, and is explicitly detailed in major New Testament passages. The last book of the Bible, the revelation of Yeshua the Messiah, refers specifically to his next coming itself in chapter 19, and the millennium and future state, which follows in chapters 20 to 22. It's important to remember that prophecy does not describe the future in the same detail as history describes the past. So, while the prophecies of the Old Testament certainly describe the first and next advents, most early interpretations of these prophecies melded them into a single event. Particularly during the years leading up to Yeshua's birth, it was assumed Messiah would be a political or military figure with an immediate worldly kingdom, which can be referred in Luke chapter 19, verse 11. In the light of Yeshua's ministry, it is possible to understand the true purpose of Messiah and the real nature of his kingdom. Also, Scripture records Yeshua making direct comparisons to Old Testament prophecies when making his own claims to next advent. For example, his words in Matthew chapter 24, verse 31, and Mark chapter 13 verse 27 parallel the descriptions of Isaiah chapter 52 verse 15 and Isaiah chapters 59 to 62. All in all, the Hebrew scriptures indicate that the promised one would appear, be cut off, and then reappear in victory. The first advent has occurred, the next is still future. Both the New and Old Testaments predict a second advent of the Messiah. The next coming of Yeshua, the Messiah. The next coming of Yeshua the Messiah uses a different Greek word, parousia. This word refers to the physical return of Messiah to the earth and is used 4 times in Matthew chapter 24. Greek dictionaries and lexicons state that this word can refer to a person's actual presence or his or her arrival. The word parousia is used 24 times in the Bible. Matthew chapter 24 verses 3, 27, 37, 39, 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verse 23, chapter 16 verse 17, 2 Corinthians chapter 7 verses 6, 7, chapter 10 verse 10, Philippians chapter 1, 1 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 19, chapter 3 verse 13, chapter 4 verse 15, chapter 5 verse 23, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 1, 8, 9, James chapter 5 verses 7, 8, 2 Peter, chapter 1, verse 16, chapter 3, verses 4, 12, and 1 John chapter 2, verse 28. Thus, when differentiating between the rapture and the next coming, it is a strong assumption that the word parousia refers exclusively to the next coming. Here is a summary of traits of the next coming of Messiah as an end-time event. First, it follows a definite set of predicted signs of 70th week of Daniel. that is 7 years. This can be referred in Daniel chapter 9 verses 24 to 27, Matthew chapter 24 verse 4 to 29. Second, it is not a resurrection or translation event. Third, he comes to the earth, which can be referred in Zechariah chapter 14 verse 4. Fourth, Messiah comes with his saints, that is, the raptured saints return to earth. This can be referred in 1 Thessalonians chapter 3 verse 13, Jude chapter 14. During the next coming, no one is taken back to heaven. Fifth, unbelievers will be taken away. But, before then, the world will see Messiah's next coming. This can be referred in Matthew chapter 24, verses 27, 37 to 41, Revelation chapter 1, verse Yeram. Sixth, angels gather the elect, which can be referred in Matthew chapter 24, verse 31. Seventh, unbelievers are taken away, which can be referred in Matthew chapter 24, verses 37 to 41. Satan, the Antichrist, and the false prophet are taken away, which can be referred in Revelation chapter 19, verse 20, chapter 20, verses 1 to 3. Eighth, predicted in the Old Testament, in various places. Ninth, occurs at the end of the day of wrath, that is, at the end of the tribulation. The millennium begins shortly thereafter. 10th, occurs near the end of the Battle of Armageddon, precedes the judgment of the living Jews and Gentiles on earth, and precedes the millennial kingdom. This can be referred in Matthew chapter 25, verses 31 to 46. Moreover, following scripture passages that prophesy the next coming of the Messiah. In the Old Testament, Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 3, Psalm chapters 24, 72, 96, 110, Isaiah chapters 11, 64, verse 1, chapters 65, 66, Daniel chapter 2, verses 44 to 45, Daniel chapter 7, verses 9 to 14, Daniel chapter 12, verses 1 to 3, Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10, Zechariah chapter 14, verses 1 to 15. In the New Testament, Matthew chapter 13, verse 41, chapter 19, verse 28, Matthew chapter 24, verses 15 to 31, Matthew chapter 26, verse 64, Mark chapter 13, verses 14 to 27, Mark chapter 14, verse 62, Luke chapter 21, verses 25 to 28, Acts chapter 1, verses 9 to 11, Acts chapter verses 19 to 21, 1 Thessalonians chapter 3, verse 13, 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verses 6 to 10, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 8, 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 12 to 13, 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 1 to 14, Jude chapters 14 to 15, Revelation chapter 1, verse 7, Revelation chapter 19, verses 11 to chapter 20, verse 6, Revelation chapter 22, verses 7, 12, 20. Generally speaking, those who affirm a literal first advent, a virgin birth of Yeshua the Messiah, a literal death and resurrection of Messiah, also hold to a literal next advent.